right. I appreciate everybody being here. It's been been a good and challenging week, for our guys. Trying to obviously you'll keep the focus on each day. Obviously there's a lot of excitement for getting to Saturday, but for us it's just trying to keep the primary focus on each day, each meeting, every play that we have throughout the course of practice, just trying to go get better and to learn the lessons through the experiences that we've had, and just to be able to go apply those corrections and to build the confidence throughout the course of the week. And I think our guys, energy level the last couple of days has been extremely high. There's a fight and a determination to see their best show up, and that's what we're all striving for. It's I've been proud of them for just the mentality of what they're bringing, and the way that they're embracing their own challenge, because there's no every one of these guys want to go out and be successful individually, collectively as a team, and just be able to represent this program in a certain fashion. So we got a great group, and I do like I said, I love coaching each of the individuals to see in their pursuit of improvement, and I'm excited to see how this week continues to unfold. But they have done a nice job of keeping that primary focus.
How has Tommy handled practice as far as feeling
good? Good. I mean, I'm feeling very confident where it's trending, but obviously, we'll be able to get a little bit more as we get later on in the week. But I think he's handled the things that he's been asked to do very well.
Brenda, were you anticipating, in terms of kind of complicated question, but we've seen fan reactions across the country for teams that haven't done maybe as well as the fan base would want, and it gets loud, sometimes negative. I know that can always be a part of the game, but do you have any anticipation, I guess, for what this weekend can bring? No,
I mean, anticipation is us going out and playing our best game. I mean, that's my expectation for it. I'm not a person that goes into games, days, plays, thinking, oh, well, this is the worst that could happen. Like, that's not how I'm not wired that way. And I'm believing for what will and what we can be, and that's what we work towards. And we got an incredible fan base. I know it's homecoming. It's gonna obviously the Seminole Heritage game. That there's gonna be a lot of energy Saturday night, and there needs to be. And I'm excited to be back at home. Excited for our guys to go showcase our identity and who we are, and go play the best game that we've had all year. So I'm not worried about any of those other things. Control what we control, and go give people something to cheer about.
Ira, we talked to Coach Surtain yesterday. He was talking about the adapting to playing more zone defense this year compared to last year. Is that a situation sometimes where you need the right personnel to do it, or is it just development?
It's a lot of. There is a developmental aspect of that, and it's also as we've kind of gone through the season, trying to put guys in different positions. We've had a good mix of man and zone, but there are times and situations where we haven't been as good in some of our zone coverage positions, and that is it's reps, it's different things that we're seeing. It's guys just continuing to grow and improve on their reactionary movements based off of their role or responsibility in a certain play. But I think that guys are building confidence in that, and it's it's something that it does sometimes take a little bit of time in doing, and it's so does playing man coverage, and some of the issues that we had early in the season were in some of our man coverage times that where we had to be better even in those. And so it's just because of all the different dynamics of what you can face while playing man. So it is it's a good balance, and it's for us. It's just it's a continued approach of helping guys grow through the lessons they've had, but also be able to be confident in what they're being asked to do and how they're being asked to do it.
Leo, when we talked to Coach Surtain yesterday, he talked about how during some of these ups and downs in football, you have to dig deep and find your why and why you keep going. Have you seen maybe players or even coaches, when things aren't working, kind of dig down to find something different to try?
Yeah, I mean, and we kind of mentioned a little bit on Monday, it was asked, when you see the disappointment, I mean, and that's, it shows up every year, every game, win, lose. I mean, there's going to be, you're going to have disappointing moments. And, when sometimes things, stack upon each other, it does continue to build. And, I try to tell our teams, I try to tell, myself, my family, anybody that I love, it's, man, stay true to who you are. And, that why, I mean, that's a driving force. Like, you need to stay true to your why when you have however many game win streak you have. You need to stay true to that, because if not, you will get caught up. You'll get distracted. You'll get further away from all the best of your purpose. And yes, when you find challenging times, that's something that's pinpointed. And I mean, it's. You'll see it in different perspectives, good and bad. You look at a situation. I know I was asked on Monday or last week about a sideline confrontation or emotional moment. That's, oh, well, what does that mean? I mean, trying to help somebody grow and get better in a situation moment, and how they handle it, how we handle it. That's one thing. I've also had those when you're winning in a game. And outside perception is something totally different. Oh, well, this is that. I mean, I remember Deuce Spann a few years ago, we're playing Miami, and probably the same exact situation shows up, but how was that perceived? Oh, just because things are good, well, that's a different. No, it's the exact same. It's because it's for the individual staying true to who they are, even in that disappointing moment. But the outside might view it a certain way. For who we are on the inside, it's still about that individual staying true. Man, make sure you pour out everything that you have, and because you're gonna have, whether you win the game or lose the game, there's gonna be good and bad moments. But what you do with those, where do you go in those, and then how are you going to be able to take that experience and grow and take a step better? And that's what I'm looking for, and that's what we're continuing to emphasize with the players. Yes, it hurts and it's sad to come up short, and to be in a. To have a stretch where we haven't been able to achieve that victory, but it can't change who you are, and you got to dig deep into that. But just by staying to that core of your identity.
Corey, you say that you need to stay true to who you are. How hard is that, though? It's hard for us, and we're older. How hard is it for a 20-year-old to?
It is. I mean, it's challenging, and I would say that even over the last however many years you want to say it, I mean it makes it even more difficult, because where are they getting the value? I mean we all want to be affirmed. Like you want to be affirmed by people that say you do a good job writing articles or how you cover something or doing this. Players want to be affirmed by hey, you do a good job in this. So whenever you don't receive that, it's like, sometimes you'll see guys starting to search, and they'll start feeling they have to be somebody different, rather than just staying true to that and working to just get better. And, I mean, you can do that, in your personal life. You could do that when it comes to athletics and sports. But it is a challenge. And that's where, and one of the things I'm actively doing, and I've tried to do throughout my coaching career, is meet guys where they are. And you can always desire where you want them to be, but you got to meet them with where they are. If you skip over the steps, then, obviously, there's, that disconnect can show up. And so you got to just be true to that and help remind guys through the process. And, for a guy that's a second, third year player, sometimes that's going to be a little different than the guy that's in his last year of eligibility, or different than the guy that just got on campus. And so just being able to, try to reflect on that, connect with guys on that, and that is, even with just my, my role right now, I'm trying to be so much more hands-on in that to help guys through, what has been a difficult last month.
All right.
Going back to the secondary, not having Jabril last week, you're already down Quindarius. Like, how big of an impact has that been? And if having him back, like, what does that do for the secondary?
No, I mean it's big for us, and I appreciate those guys in the secondary. I mean, we have our depth has been tested, and really what's challenge that is just even some of the moving parts that go to it. We had. I know, just a prime example. You take, Shamar. I mean, he was, the couple weeks prior, he's really, having a big focus there at the field safety position. Was seeing some positive steps. And then we lose a corner, and it was. What we felt was in best interest for him to be able to get back out there, and once Q went down, to get back out at corner and to be able to provide just that his ability in that position, just something we had a little bit better foundation of. Well, that causes another effect of somebody else that moves the position, and as they're catching up in the growth, and so getting Jabril back, definitely helps solidify, things, there at the corner position. He's done a great job throughout this year, but it also, you're able to see guys that, are growing in their confidence within each rep. And that is the one position where, when you look big picture, it was probably the least experienced group that we had, and it's been the one that's kind of been challenged just with some injuries and availability throughout the early part of this year. But I see guys growing up, and I've got high expectations for what it's going to be.
Are you preparing for Ashford and Purdy both?
Yeah, we're preparing for both. I mean, expecting I'm sorry to cut you. I mean, but like that's. You saw last game. Obviously, Purdy started the game, but within the, I think, second series, Ash was in, and he's obviously a dynamic player. I think he's been dealing with some injuries, here as of late. But both guys we have to be ready, prepared for, and then adapt and adjust for what shows up throughout the game.
So does it operate differently with the two?
No, I'd say operation is not different. Obviously the players are, they have their strengths and things that they rely on, through it. But I mean, big picture operation is they'll do all with both.
Brennan, with Tommy, with some of the issues he's had with his ankle or leg area the last couple of weeks, when he's not 100%, just given the way he plays and his athleticism, I mean, how is that limiting for what you guys can do as play designs or just his even instincts just to take off and run? Yeah, I mean, I think there's things that you try to be aware, just in all situations, and Tommy, he's done a really good job of getting himself prepared and ready for games. And if you ask him, there's not going to be a whole lot that he's going to say is limiting him. But we also try to be aware in those situations, and it comes up in the course of a game. That there's times where you try to eliminate any excess contact, and Tommy's done a good job of kind of protecting himself. You look back early in the season, and I think, in the first game he runs for over 70-something yards, has, has 15 carries, but really never, avoided the big hits. And, but as you have things in for a season that build up, just try to make sure we're putting this team in the best position, and I think Gus has done a good job with that. We have two more, Aslan.
A defensive play caller can, do some more man coverage, more zone coverage in terms of options. Offensive coordinator can decide to try to run the ball more, have to throw the ball more, I guess. When you're trying to manage emotions overall of a football team, you talked about playing with an edge going into the season. Last week you mentioned you want the guys to kind of cut loose, play and have fun and enjoy the game. Is it a week-to-week thing when you're trying to manage their emotion?
No, I mean, I think it's still like for those two examples, that's still the same to me. You play with an edge. You step on that field, it's everything that you have to go be and enjoy what you get to do. And, I think that sometimes people will allow, results to almost hold us back. And sometimes when you find negative results and you don't want that to continue to happen, you'll see hesitation that will show up from time to time. You'll see, guys that, with all the right intentions, just almost, pump the brakes just a little bit, for the fear of what could happen or what you don't want to happen. And for me, you play with an edge. You play with the desperation to go be the best that you can be, to go fight to win on every single play. And then, how you respond to the good or the bad. That's that's dealing with the emotion. That's dealing with, the things that, are going to show up, on a daily basis. And and that's where, with all coaches, we are responsible in helping our guys. That's why I say meet them at where they are. And, it's just, every kid's going to handle, different situations in their own unique way. And, we've got to be great in connecting with them and helping them through that so that they can cut loose, have fun, and go show the world who they are.
Last one, Corey.
When you were hired, you talked about special teams kind of being a culture. It shows the culture of a program. I guess we're not in practice anymore, so I wanted to ask a two-parter. How much do you guys practice special teams now compared to the past? And the reason I ask is you've had one kick returned on you all year. You've had one punt returned on you all year. Like, does it matter as much anymore with the way the kicking game is in college football? Like, there's just no real chance to hit big returns.
Well, it doesn't matter till it matters.
Right, good one.
So, I mean, that's, we still make a strong investment in our special teams, and it really, to say it's changed a whole lot. Now, there's certain aspects of, going into a game that, hey, maybe we won't emphasize this particular unit as much because of what we expect, to see or what we expect to happen. But it's still, where can you create in the edge? And, we've had good moments, we've had bad moments in special teams this year. And, it's something that, throughout, 6 years, I mean, that's been probably a highlight big picture. You find different times where it's been good and bad. But ultimately, I do believe that, it's a core and foundational element of our program. And that's where we want that to be a strength. We want to see our best players being able to make an impact in those units. This year, I mean, we've had multiple 20-plus yard punt returns that we've been able to have, and that's something I do attribute to the work that our players have put in. Some of the skills and that they have. But we've not had as many kick returns, opportunities. We've not had as many kick coverages, but it only takes one, and so you got to prepare yourself for that one, for that moment, and make sure that your best is showing up when you get those opportunities.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a great day.
You too.